Welcome back to the Triple Lock channel. So today I'd like to talk to you about... Oh wait, hang on, no bike. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Triple Lock channel. I hope that looks as good on the camera as it did in my head. Thank you to everybody who's liked and subscribed and commented. You guys are absolutely incredible. And if you haven't had a chance to, whack it down below. Alright my dudes, so today's topic, it's quite a topic that's quite close to my heart, I'll be honest. And that is progressive braking and bike control. Now you're wondering why I say that it's close to my heart. Well, when I was less experienced, less willing to learn more things, yeah, you'd probably say that I was quite ignorant to the fact. And what had actually happened was, this was back on my old YZF 125 on my way to work. Wasn't really thinking about much, just commuting, just trying to get through traffic. And obviously where it's the morning, I'm just cruising along. I'm just not really thinking, my attention's not there. You know, it's just like there's no life behind the eyes, you know. I barely even pulled the tongue off the roof of my mouth yet. So what happened? Well, I was going along, national speed limit, so 60 miles an hour, and there was a van in a lay-by. Not too dissimilar to this scenario right here. As soon as he pulled out on me, now realistically, I actually did have plenty of time to respond and react to it, but I had a lack of skill. I didn't know how to use my brakes properly. And what I'd done is I'd panicked, and it's a very, very classic thing to do, and I just grabbed a handful of brake. You know, all four fingers just grab, and the front end just washed out beneath me. And this is where it's quite hilarious when people say, oh, I had to drop the bike, man. No, you didn't. You just braked really hard and sent it downwards. You didn't purposely do that. Well, you kind of did, you just didn't know progressive brake pressure. So what you should have done really is practice it. So anyway, now my bike's tumbling down the road, and so am I. And like I say, you know, 60 miles an hour isn't a fun speed to be rolling down the road. My head hit into two cars on the other side of the road. My bike is now absolutely destroyed, and I come out teddy bear rolling. Thankfully, now I don't know why this happened. Call it very, very good luck, or I don't know, man, maybe it was back to like my skateboarding days where I just roll and keep rolling in a certain position rather than just, I don't know. I don't really know how it works, but thankfully something saved my bacon, and I came away with just bruises. No brakes, you know, no road rash. And the reason for no road rash is because, same as always, I'm always wearing protective gear. So how do we avoid this happening? Especially when you're new. Always keep up with practicing it. So whether you have to go to a car park, at least 5 minutes at the start or at the end of your ride, just to keep refreshing these skills. Practice braking sooner and sooner and sooner. Okay, so here's the process. I usually keep my fingers at the ready, especially when I'm in traffic and whatnot, and you know, I can see it's quite built up, whatnot, but you just never know when there's like a deer gonna jump out at you or anything like that. So fingers always at the ready, just rest them there. If anything happens, it's a lot less time for me to react while my fingers are there, rather than when they're there. What we'll do is, you apply a small amount of brake pressure, squeeze the brake a little bit, and ready to squeeze on a little bit more. We are not crushing the brake lever. If you imagine your front brake like an orange, if you was to grab an orange and crush it like this, very fast, you are going to get orange juice everywhere. It's going to explode, right? Pop! If you was to gradually squeeze the orange, squeeze, 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 you are going to get a nice amount of juice out of that orange and potentially into your glass. So if you imagine your front brake the same way, so let's make sure there's nothing behind me. I'm going to pick up some speed. My two fingers are at the ready. Roll off the throttle. squeeze a little bit, squeeze, 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 squeeze. If I would have grabbed a whole handful then, I doubt the ABS would have helped me that much there, I'll be honest. I would probably more say the front end would have washed out and I'll be tumbling down the road. So, quick recap. Fingers at the ready, roll off the throttle, squeeze and brake, squeeze a little bit, more. If you count to 10 while squeezing that brake, you will stop before you reach 10. Guaranteed. So which brings me on really to my next train of thought today. So, we're starting to dial in the braking. Now the other part to this video is I want to talk about the control of the bike. Or should I be a little bit more specific, the bike controlling itself. Yes, okay, you do the inputs, you put the throttle in, and it is your hands on the handlebars. But that kind of leads me to a point really of, are your hands really on the handlebars that much? No. No, they're not. Most of your force, most of your grabbing force is done with your legs. You clamp down with your legs because they're the strongest muscle you have. They're the strongest muscle you're using. It's much stronger than your hands and your arms for sure. And if anything is to happen at the front end, you don't want to apply too much input. So if you was to go into what's called a tank slapper, you know, or they're called death wobble, or whatever the hell you want to call it, you know, basically it's the handlebars shaking left and bloody right, you know. Scary as hell. I've had it, not fun. Thankfully, came out of it. But if you was to be clamped down on your bike, you're really stiff. You can't do anything. You want to be loose. And the way I imagine this is, while you're riding along, imagine that you are playing the piano. If you was too tight on your hands, you wouldn't be able to play. You'd be grabbing a handful of each grip. So just imagine you are playing the piano. Okay, so now we've loosened up your grip. Yeah, imagine doing like the funky chicken dance. Yeah, give your arms a little wobble. And now we go on to counter steering. Now the bike does it itself, you do it as well. So whenever you look in a particular direction, you pull your bike that way. But the way that it actually works with the bike, it's you push right on a handlebar and the front wheel goes a little bit left and then falls into the right. That's how it leans in. So here we come up to the left, push the left handlebar forward, not down, push it forward. Same thing here with a right hand bend. Pull over to the left a bit, push the right handlebar right, and away we go. It doesn't take a lot of input, just enough. You can control it just with your finger. It is more than enough. Letting the bike correct itself. There is a force in nature called centrifugal force. I know, boring as hell, isn't it, science? Here we go.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious
But let me just speed this up a little bit. Centrifugal force is the way that the wheels are spinning round and round and round, going in a particular direction, is what it does that holds the bike upright. When you let off the throttle in a bend, so if I let off, it's a lot easier for me to dip the bike into the corner. And all I need to do is a very light amount of input to get it to do that. So now we've already spoken about the front brake, we spoke about counter steering, so push left to go left, push right to go right. Let's quickly talk about that rear brake. It's a very underrated, very useful tool on your bike, because what it can do is not only will you then have the contact patch on the front, so that's where your tyre stretches under braking load, but it also happens with the rear brake when you give that a little squeeze. It will stretch out your tyre and giving you more contact patch, making you more grips to the road. So what I like to do and how I like to use it in the bends In the straights, yes, it helps to sort of settle the geometry, so it's a bit more square, front and rear tyre getting, you know, a more even amount of contact patch. But the way I like to use it in the bends, especially in the wet, is I'll just give the rear brake a little dip while I'm in the bend. Yeah, I'll drag it into the bend with me, and it will spread that contact patch and allow me for that little bit more grip. So have you ever been out when it's a bit wet, a bit slippery on surface, and you're thinking, how the hell am I going to be able to control this? Well, a little bit of rear while you're going through, and it just beds that rear in a bit. You know, beds that rear tyre in just a little bit. Enough to sort of grip us to the road a bit more. Alright then guys, so we've been over front and rear brake, now counter steering. One last key note, just to complete this whole package. It's all well and good, you now know how to brake, you're going to put that into practice. You know about counter steering, so you're going to start to understand about the geometries of the motorcycle. I'm not going into anything too complex. I don't want to fry your brains and whatever. I'm just keeping it as simple as I can. But one last note to add, and it's very key. Wherever you look is where you will go. So if you've already heard the term, keep that head on a swivel, that's what they're trying to say. Two things with that. It's about going where you're looking, so not target fixating, and it's also about knowing what's around you, keeping that 360 observation on in your head. You're not in a car anymore, bub. You haven't got a cage. You need to make as many steps as possible to protect yourself. Coming into a bend, instead of focusing over there, I want to focus over there, where I want to go. So here, we've got another left-hander. There is no point spooking myself and thinking, oh, I'm going to go over there. I want to look over here and go. You go where you look. Same again. Look, keep looking down the road. Do not look to the sides. Just keep focused. Trust your machine. It will handle it. Keep looking through that bend. Look through the bend. Look through the bend. So I can't see much around this corner, so on the brakes a little and ease off the brakes. So now I know we're good. Look through the bend, look through the bend. Keep looking, keep looking, keep looking, and straighten the bike up. Then we can get back on throttle. The trick here is to look as far down the road as you possibly can. All the way to the end point where you can't see anything anymore. Keep looking through it, and it will help you keep a much better pace. If you only look to say a 1 or 2 car length distance, you are asking for trouble. You are not prepared. You're not prepared to see what's coming up. Right, on the brake, on the brake, on the brake. Preparing to slow down if someone's coming my way, and off the brake. Back on the throttle. Now we're on a straight. Brake, 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 brake. Because I don't know what's coming up. And then through. See that progressive brake? Because I didn't jam it on, I was able to commit to this bend a hell of a lot better. I was prepared. If anything jumped up in front of me, I'm there ready. I'm already compressed the forks down. I've already got the contact patch spread, so I know I can apply more brake if necessary. If people like this jump out, always be prepared. You're always looking. You're always ready. That should be how it is. We all have bad moments and whatever. We just hope that it's not the one that takes us out. Anyway, guys, I hope this video has been helpful. You have all been amazing. But just a quick update. I've been talking about in my previous 2 videos about a Discord server. It is now active. It's now ready to go. The link is on my YouTube, on the about and on the banner. So all you have to do, go on there, click the little motorcycle on the welcome page, and you will have full access to the server. And we can chat away to our heart's content about bikes and anything you feel I wasn't able to go over in these videos. So get on the Discord, let's have a chat. Any problems with it at all, or any problems in general, or if you just want to talk, jump onto me Instagram DM. Alright guys, anyway, you've all been amazing. If you haven't had a chance to, like and subscribe. You are all incredible. Thanks so much guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace.